Welcome to this special one-on-one edition of Interviewing Humanity. Today I'm going to sit down with someone whose work, voice, and presence in this fight for justice I deeply respect. The last 2 years I've been serving the unhoused community in Corvallis, Oregon, but I haven't done it alone. Alongside so many incredible people, I've seen the raw reality of what systemic neglect looks like, and today I'm honored to speak with someone who has witnessed this journey firsthand. She works at a psychological research
Yes.
facility. She's Indigenous, she's a fierce advocate for human rights, and more than that, she's someone who truly sees people and understands the depth of struggle, psychological resilience, and the systemic forces that keep people trapped in cycles of poverty and exclusion. So let's start here. Red, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what brought you into this work?
Hello, my name is Red. What brought me into all of this is, I can't really say a particular moment. I was born into this. I was one of the last of the serious scoops in the 80s, and I got adopted out, and they got around ICWA. And ever since then, it's never stuck me with the way things are. And that is just it. And the firm belief that to be radically kind is the most radical thing you can do. That's it. There was no one particular thing.
Fantastic. So over the past 2 years, you've seen me navigating this work, and it's been successful at times and a struggle at times, but it's always been educational. From your perspective, what have been the most impactful moments you've witnessed along in this journey specifically?
To clarify, do you mean watching you or my interactions with you?
Your interactions with me.
Quite honestly, the fact that the coffee space, we met when I was working with brothers, and the fact that I just occasionally needed food and coffee to get me through the day because it was a rough time. And just seeing everybody gathered in one spot, being able to socialize, being able to have community, made it feel less like I was losing my goddamn mind.
So from an outside perspective, what do you think people misunderstand most about what it means to serve the unhoused community?
I think the thing that is most misunderstood is that they have this idea that everyone who is houseless deserved it. That they deserved it, that they've done something wrong, that they are bad people. Which is not a new thing, but that's just, to me, the most... Because they don't realize that it could be that single mother living out of her car with kids.
Along that lines, what have you observed about the way unhoused individuals are treated, and not just by systems, but by the general public?
They're treated like they're a virus. Like, touching them, being near them can make you sick. Like, their bad luck is going to rub off on you. Mm-hmm. And that's bad medicine. That doesn't sit well with me.
Bad medicine, indeed. So you work in psychological research, which means you understand human behavior, trauma, and resilience at a level most people don't. How do you see those elements play out in the lives of the unhoused?
It's nothing particularly new. It's the same cycle of abuse by the system, by the people. We don't have the social networks set up in order to support them. People who are more likely to support them are dealing with the same cyclical traumas that come with being extorted.
What psychological impact does long-term displacement have on a person?
Suicide. What can I even say that?
Self-unaliving.
Yep, self-unaliving. Deletion. Sorry, I forget. I'm used to talking very clinically. Self-unalivement, psychosis. Jesus Christ, banging. Deep levels of body dysmorphia that people don't talk about. Being unable to even recognize their own faces. It's just mania. Obviously, there's substance issues.
Mm-hmm. Are there specific trauma responses you've noticed in unhoused populations that aren't widely understood?
Resource guarding.
Okay. Would you care to go in on that a little bit?
So this comes down to, the personal experience, and because I've seen it being part of the foster system. Mm-hmm. I will see a lot of the unhoused tuck a hand underneath their leg and mix all their food together and shovel it in their mouth as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And they resource guard not only for themselves but others. And I had an experience more than once of I get too close, and if they're eating something, they'll shove it in their mouth. Mm-hmm. They don't care about anything else. They were they thought I was coming for the food.
Yeah. So Indigenous communities have a long history of practicing mutual aid, communal care, and survival under oppressive systems. How does that history inform the way you view the fight for unhoused rights today?
It's kind of hard to explain to a certain degree because my formative years were spent on the res. And so I grew up with the idea that if you needed something, you got it. And so it's hard to say that it's necessarily a view so much as it is just the way I am with life.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it is.
Okay. How does the Western system of individualism work against those practices?
It kills it. Oh, sorry.
unalives it.
Wait, no,
It's
why
okay.
is it?
Are there specific cultural perspectives that could help reshape how we approach unhoused advocacy?
I think, to a certain degree, that if we learn to utilize this ingrained individualism that's particular in America, and basically reteach people that sympathy and empathy are not the same thing. So when we divorce sympathy being contingent to empathy, they start to see themselves with people. We basically have to just reteach people to be empathetic to others.
I've been trying that. It's very difficult.
It is, and it's a programming thing because our societal structure is set up in a way that it fights that every step of the way.
Yeah. So we know, we both know that individual acts of service aren't enough to fix a system designed to keep people unhoused. What do you see as the biggest systemic barriers keeping people on the streets?
Money.
Seriously.
It would be so much cheaper to just house people, and they would start contributing more because they were able to and safe to.
If you could change one fundamental part of how society treats the unhoused, what would it be?
Stop seeing them as sick.
I could only hope. So we both know this work's not easy and it takes a toll, and yet we keep showing up. Why do you personally keep fighting this fight?
So repeat the question, I got distracted.
We both know that this work isn't easy and it takes a toll, and yet we both keep showing up. So why do you personally keep fighting this fight?
Because I can't see any other way to live. I can't tolerate suffering. And to me, it is so antithetical to my being, to my soul, that it doesn't even occur to me to stop.
And how do you process the emotional weight of this work?
Since I work in the field that I do, so it's the DBT program.
Fair enough.
It's a lot about redirecting negative responses to divorcing myself that it's okay to feel this way and I don't have to react to it.
Yeah.
So it's just DBT therapy, basically.
Therapy. Absolutely.
A very specific type of therapy.
Yeah. What does hope look like for you in this fight?
Even one single person feeling they have even a small bit of weight off their shoulders. Because that means that is one more day that they can see that they can keep going.
There's a lot we can take away from this conversation. If there's one message you'd want people listening to walk away with about unhoused advocacy, about resilience and justice, what would it be?
Get comfortable that you will not be able to solve every single problem at the same time. You need to pick something and doggedly pursue it. You cannot solve every single problem. Trying to is crazy.
It is definitely crazy making.
You need to be kind to yourself. You need to be kind to others. Pick a cause and show up.
And for those listening, I'll leave you with this. We don't need permission to show up for each other. We don't need permission to care, and we don't need permission to challenge a system that leaves people to die in the streets while wealth and resources sit in the hands of a few. So here's your action step. Whether it's learning more, supporting mutual aid, or simply recognizing the humanity in someone that society's discarded, do something. Because in the end, what we do for others is what defines us. Red, thank you for your voice. I love you.
Thank you very much.
Your insight, and also for being in this fight with me.
And I will. I'll hit y'all up as soon as I leave this town. I'm probably gonna have you guys along for the whole journey because, like I said, I'm gonna go help the free pop-up store in Portland, and some of the local anarchist outreach groups out there helping with the unhoused, and then I kind of want to expose what's going on with the marginalized communities that all make up the unhoused in the United States, because I feel like what happened last time in the 30s, the people didn't really pay attention to the homeless.